Okay.
This one, it's an episode that will describe the creative processes that led us to work on the rebranding of the hotel chain NHOW. Something huge. It took most of our 2024 and a good part of 2025, and it made us travel throughout Europe and even to Peru. Still rolling? I think it's slow. And it's flipped! Ciao! My name is Valerio, and I am an Italian living in Copenhagen. In this series, I'll bring you on set. I'll talk about pre-production, life on set, technical setups, and post-production. But most importantly, I'll show you how flexible we must be in our work, finding the best balance between professionalism and getting the best shot. I think we have the first one. I might cut in with cropping or something like that.
And action.
Out of 10 hotels, I was behind the camera just in London and helped with behind the scenes in Berlin and Peru, where I also helped with logistics. It was a job where my role has been mainly in post-production. I took care, together with Alexandra, the director, and Guido, our motion graphic designer, of the final look and feel of this massive production. It's a story of how our videos ended up being shown in some of the biggest screens in Rome and Milan, and even during an Imagine Dragons concert and at every Dua Lipa's concert in Europe. But today, even if I will touch some aspects of the post-production, I want to introduce director Alexandra, who will explain how our team managed to come up with this campaign called Dance Now, Change Now, which is more than just a series of videos. Well, enough talking, welcome Alexandra.
Oh my god, it sounds so amazing when you're describing this.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. Like, wow, we did it. It feels nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it took us some time, right?
Yeah, it took some time, and yeah, a lot of fun moments, especially because I just gave a birth to my second child, and months later we flew already for the first shooting together with her, and like partly breastfeeding, partly directing. It was actually something not every day you doing on the set.
I always tell this story, but we were traveling and we were at the airport and we had to go through security, and we had your newborn, right? And there was a huge queue, and then Alexandra just told me, "You want to be my husband?" So we kind of acted as a family or something like that. That was quite.
But in case we're including everyone, so it's like all the team has become extended family.
So Sasha, we're very tight. Can you explain how?
Tell me.
Can you explain how this? We have no chairs left, like not beautiful chairs. So she's on a regular chair. I'm on a Apple box. But how did this cooperation started? Like, how were we contacted? How did you start like brainstorming on everything?
Yeah. So actually, it started a year before, when we randomly was selected as a production team from one of the other hotel chain, because the usual team couldn't come in Copenhagen, and we just jump in, and it was actually like extremely good chemistry with brand manager, and we had really a lot of fun. We were creative, we were exchanging ideas, and then we kind of click. And next year, I just got a letter one winter day, which was already cold and gray and sad, nothing happening, and then there's like, by the way, would you like to make 10 videos for our hotel chain? Like, yes, please.
But that's the cool thing, because I think normally we work more on one-time productions, right? So it's more like one commercial or a documentary or interviews, brand film, something like that. But this is a whole rebranding. It's not only about let's brainstorm for a video or two films or whatever. It's like whole rebranding of the hotel. So how did you do that? How did you come up, for example, with the dancing concept that then we ended up with?
Yeah, actually, was really nice things that they came with the open-minded. They had no fixed concept themselves. They wanted to go and try and look and see what we can propose. Maybe they can have some ideas, So we proposed several concepts in the end. I think it was three big concept decision. We all clicked them ourselves with this music video from Fatboy Slim when they dancing in the hotel.
Like that, right?
I forgot his name of this actor, but it was just like this. That's what I had at the beginning. Yeah, but
Was you during the meeting, right? You were doing
this was like, let's do it. And I think just because most of the people who was working with the branding, they're also like kind of my generation, and we immediately felt, this is the right. And then this was the starting point, and then we already from this point start discovering how we can make these dancers. With whom we should work. Should it be just professional dancers? Should it be influencers? Should it be both? How to, because the task is actually quite complicated, to highlight business and leisure and in the same concept. This challenge to combine and have a story which include dancing and some kind of dramaturgy plus all this on top of things. Yeah, it was a kind of trying to find this puzzle right way.
True, because also the dancers, and I think, did we lose a light? Yes, we did lose a light. So,
it's happening.
Yeah. Right. So you mentioned that we didn't know what to do exactly, because we were like, should we get just dancers or like influencers as well? And we ended up with a sort of mix of things. But like, why those dancers in the end? Because they also had to kind of act in it. Did you do a research? Did you cast them?
So first of all, we understood that we need influencers and professional dancers. But then we also have challenge, because influencers, they could be really fantastic, but not always so good in dancing compared to real dancers.
True.
Yeah, so to combine them in the same shot could be challenging. It's also just because we need to show so many locations, at least 8 locations per hotel in 1 minute video.
Yeah.
It's like less than 10 seconds for one location, and it's become tricky what you can do in 10 seconds. So you have these moments, just the feeling, the vibe, the some couple cool movements, and you move forward to the next location. We made a list and we start basically contacting them. And of course, we need to remember that we're always tied by budgets, and we need to be realistic what we can afford, what we cannot afford, and with whom we would like to collaborate. Everyone whom we wanted, we got, and
they were really good, huh?
Yeah, and and there's just all of them just so amazing, and it was just pure joy to work with each of them.
All of them amazing, but one in particular, we love them.
No, you cannot say this.
No, we can't.
We love them all.
We love them all, but one maybe.
Who's your favorite? Tell me. Who touched your heart?
I mean,
who melted your heart?
I think mainly because we had him on so many different locations, and also like in the end he kind of became part of the production. I think that Will kind of really.
Are you talking about Will West?
I'm talking about Will West.
Okay. Wide shot, yeah. And clapping, and that's it. Clapping to him.
I mean, he was really, in the end, like, he was really participating into, like, all of them actually gave ideas, right, and participated, but we clicked pretty well as well.
Yeah, when Lola Becker, she was actually all behind the main dance for everyone.
It was nice for me to see, like, different type of interpretations of the choreography. I think that was also the goal a little bit, to make something accessible for also non-dancers. And then seeing professional dancers bringing their own flavor into it was really nice.
We said at the very beginning that we had some constraints in terms of, it was not just about, you know, those videos that you can see on, I don't know, hotel web pages where you go around with camera, film something else, and that's it. We really had a lot of instructions, right? We had to focus on business, we had to focus on the leisure part, to include sometimes like even food, right?
The breakfast and all this stuff,
lunch sometimes. So was it hard to cooperate with the marketing team, or was it, how was it?
But I think the main point we need to remember that what we are producing not for us, it's for the moving business forward.
Yeah.
And it's of course, if it was like my private project for my, I don't know, for my family or festivals, it's something, it will be completely different. But we need always remember there's a goal to make it work for marketing team to move forward, and actually it worked. All this combination of our creative ideas and the marketing goals, it worked. They got a lot of industry prizes for this campaign. It's end up on the biggest screen with Dua Lipa and everything. So it is possible to find this sweet spot when it's still quite creative with amazing talents and still working for the marketing purposes.
So we are in different locations, in different cities as well, right? We're in London, in Berlin, in Amsterdam, everywhere in Europe, right? Italy twice. We even ended up in Peru. Every hotel was actually open to the public while we were shooting. How was it? How did you manage that?
Yeah. So you start early when everyone's still sleeping. And
you don't care about people.
No. You really also, it's also kind of this, and you have this perfect take when everything is collapsing and dance is amazing and light and everything, and then suddenly some kind of person, chicken please. Like, oh yes please, yeah, of course we are waiting, I'm sorry. Yeah, so yeah, it is also this moment, that the unpredictability of situation, that you not completely flexible, or you cannot just stay longer in one place because the dinner will be starting. You cannot stay in a swimming pool longer because people is coming. There's act fast and hope it will work. But yeah, when you have amazing team, it's just working.
True, I agree. And also when you have a structure, right? When you have already a plan in your mind. And about that, like how much was, like, of course I know, and now they know that we plan a lot in pre-production, but how much could you stick with that plan, and how much was improvised?
So the secret is to have amazing client who trusting you, because when they trust you, then you have possibility to adapt on situation what is going actually on the set, because everything is not fixed. The sun suddenly looks much nicer from this side, not in that room. In that room we were planning to shoot in the morning, but actually it's better to shoot in the evening because it will be much more beautiful. So you change everything, and maybe then suddenly you find out that you can dance above, I don't know, around on top of the table, and then it's working much better than your original idea.
Yeah.
So, and you're adjusting, adapting, and then the dancers, they're bringing so much. They have all characters, they have own style. So based what kind of people are, what kind of character, you're adjusting the story and shooting plan. But it's starting with client who trusting you.
I think we clicked from the very beginning, as you said, but it takes a little bit of time. It's not with every client that happens. I think that's a never-ending discussion, right? I believe that sometimes when we are asked, like, can you jump on this production? I mean, trust us, trust me, trust Alexandra, because otherwise, I'm not saying do it yourself, but why are we here? I mean, if you hire some professionals with proven experience and things like that, just go with the flow. Otherwise, it's. Yeah. If you don't become partner with your client and the client with us, then it's never going to be a match, and we'll always end up with something that is not entirely satisfying us, and it's not entirely satisfying the client, right?
I feel a lot of pain in your speech.
a little bit.
Yeah, but I think it's exactly this trust coming in the really deep pre-production moment, when you have actually a dialogue. Why we're doing like this? Why it's important from marketing side, what is important to highlight, why it's important to highlight, with whom we're talking, who will watch this. Like good, solid pre-production time with the client and going deep, and thanks God to have brief, which explaining all these nuances. And then you can talk and ask and discuss. Then there's this trust coming on the set.
Yeah.
Because if you just met and just jumping on something tomorrow, it's hard to believe.
True. Also, because on set we had a limited amount of people. We were not like a big crew, right? We were like, how many? Like six or seven? Oh my God, Francie is hating me. Yeah, but that was true. Like I think we had camera assistant. There was you, production, makeup, And photographer, yes, that's also like a question I want to ask. Like
And
how,
stylist.
And stylist. So seven. Every time we're 7. Plus, of course, the client side.
But we also need to understand that during this production, we were producing video for the hotel, video for main brand, photography,
Photography. That's the thing.
which was like a big part of this campaign. At the same time, we were producing a lot of extra videos as recruitment video and all kind of videos about the people who working in the hotel, because they're actually the soul of the place.
Yeah.
And producing so much in 2 days, it's
And a half.
like close to impossible.
Also understanding, not only from the camera point of view, but from everything, what are the limits, right? Be realistic with what you can do. Otherwise, you end up in the big
So
mess,
I'm saying
right?
be optimistic, and you're saying
Also be realistic. No, I think it's a mix of the two things, right? I mean, let's say probably we didn't have the budget for this to hire, like to rent crazy big camera setup and crazy lighting and whatever. But imagine if we did. Imagine if we had the budget to do that, but not the time. I think I would have still ended up renting exactly the same equipment, because even if you have crazy big technical setup, fantastic, but if you don't have time,
There's also limitation of location.
Exactly.
Hotel room, it's not actually an actual huge set. You cannot put a lot inside.
I agree. That's the whole point. Like, just understand what you have, understand what are your capabilities, limits, be optimistic, of course, and then just work with what's the best solution. Not necessarily the best in general, but the best for the scenario. I think that's really important. But how was the whole post-production situation for me and for Alexandra? Well, a little bit about post-production from my side. It's been intense. Right before post-production, Alexandra decided to add a few things, such as graphics, animation, weird effects. There was something not planned that brought the whole concept to a completely different level and scale. Furthermore, everything was shot on one song, do you remember that? On top of which a choreographer built the moves. However, once in post-production, this changed to each hotel having its own song, meaning that not only we had to pick 10 new songs, but also readapt the choreography onto the new tempo. For every hotel, we had to export something like 12 or 15 videos in total, including different aspect ratios, and before the final approval, we went through at least 10 or 15 rounds of reviews for each hotel. But how could we handle it? I think that the vision we had in mind was strong, and even though while editing many new things came in, we did our best not to go too far from it, and it paid off. But yeah, it was fun. It was huge, and it was different than usual, right? Yeah, you like this post-production chapter?
First, when we finished shooting, we supposed to find the language which we are talking, so that all of them were like same story.
Yes, true.
And to find the song music which will be also similar, connecting to all brands, because the hotels look different, the dancers are different, everything is different, but they need to look like one campaign, like one brand.
Also for the brand video, right?
This is a kind of challenging itself. So we spend a bit of time to find this right language to make it right for all other videos together. You want to ask me about being dominating bitch on the set? So how's it to be dominating bitch on the set?
So it's a war, because you say sometimes you mix things. But
my accent really strong. I can say this. This is warp.
This is war. So being in the rap section, I'd like to ask you like a couple of things. And first is like, was there any moment where you thought, I can't do that anymore, I'm stepping out, or you know, this very bad deep thought that sometimes we all have, right?
I think with this project particularly, I was thinking quite a lot of opposite. I can do it forever.
Yeah.
Nice. I can do it more. Let's do it.
Nice.
Yeah, and even I was thinking, oh my goodness, I barely sleeping. I'm breastfeeding 5 times at night. My body is literally broken, and I'm working on it. But it's actually helped me to feel myself as not just a mom, but also to remember who am I. And it's actually helped me to go through this motherhood chapter, because it's part of who I am, to be creative, to be part of the team, to generate ideas. And so whatever other situations happen in the life, for me it was important to remember who am I. It was emotionally hard, but this is the choice we do. Yeah.
I agree on of course on different extent, and but I felt similar vibes, maybe not for this one, but sometimes when I ended up like traveling maybe for 3 weeks and then another week straight after with just one day at home with Diana, sometimes you start questioning like, what am I doing, right?
Who's Diana?
Who's Diana? Exactly. But eventually is what we signed for, and I think that also it's so important not only to have good colleagues but also to have great friends, a good family, people that understand what you're doing and they support you. I think. Do you have anything else you'd like to add to this? I think we cover pretty much, right? Do you have anything?
I can ask you a question
Yeah.
about. Well,
Who's
now
this
that-
person
Yeah.
speaking like?
Who's this?
For me, I think it's like the swimming pool part in Peru. Okay, they like us. They literally let us do basically what we wanted there, right? Like jumping in the swimming pool and having fun also with the talent. It was such a natural thing that I thought we're a big team. We're a team not only on our side, but we're a team with the client.
We all were really worried with the first hotel. Will our concept work? How it will be look like? Will we manage to do everything? And this first hotel in Amsterdam, when we all were like just like really on the high, there was so much on stakes for clients, for bigger bosses, for them, for us. And when we feel that it's working and everything clicking, we're actually managing to create something beautiful and fun and energetic, and the team working amazing, and we understand each other. It was the moment of relief and beauty. Then afterwards we could be free and feel more creative and experiment more.
Thank you. That was really. Thank you. Right. Well, it's a real warp. Thanks. Should we? Yeah. Call it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you, Francine.
Market.
Yes.